can make the biggest difference in protecting.
Okay, it's recording.
Okay, let me find my agenda. There we go. Good evening. I'd like to call the Town of Rome Board meeting to order for Thursday, June 5th at 5 p.m. Number 2, roll call starting from my left.
Evenson here.
Giardino here.
Asdell here.
Sammelstead here.
Reppin here.
Thank you. Number 3, certified posting of the meeting, please.
I certify that on Monday, June 2nd, 2025, the agenda for the Town of Rome Board meeting for Thursday, June 5th was posted at the Rome Town Hall at 1:30 p.m., posted at Quick Trip LLC, 1:50 p.m., Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, 1:55 p.m., and emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 1:25 p.m.
Thank you. Number 5, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll approve the agenda with the postponement of items 26, 27, 28 to the June 19th agenda.
Right ones.
26, 27, and 28?
Correct.
Yes, we have some cards here. During the citizen comment period of the agenda, the town board welcomes comments from any town resident not a member of the town board on any item not on the agenda. Please know that pursuant to state law, the board cannot engage in conversation with you, but may ask questions. The board may refer the item to staff, a standing committee, or a future board agenda for discussion and action. Each person wishing to speak will have up to 3 minutes to speak. Speakers are asked to submit a card to the clerk providing their name, address, and topic for discussion. The board will also take comment from the public on agenda items as called by the chair, but not during citizen comment. Please note that once the board begins discussion on an agenda item, no further comment will be allowed from the public on that issue. We have 2 cards here. We have is this a Matt Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, just a heads up, this is citizen comment period for electors and residents, not outside, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try to make
We'll
it.
let you go.
I'll be less than 3 minutes. So, some of you might know me. My name is Matt Johnson. I'm the community engagement manager for NextEra Energy Resources. We're the company, developing the solar project that you all are familiar with. We just had wanted to stop by. I was already in the area and offer to come present in the future at a town board meeting to provide a project update and such. And whether it's in the next few months or so, we just want to express that we're happy to come back, provide an update, answer questions and such, bring in additional team members, and then additionally, we had wanted to make sure to extend the offer. Like, our company is started working with the other local governments in our solar project area on discussions about joint development agreements. So last week we had like a virtual meeting with Town of Saratoga and Wood County, and then an in-person meeting with Adams County staff last week. So just want to extend that offer again, that our company wants to work with the Town of Rome on a joint development agreement, start that discussion. I know you guys brought on Attorney Stan Riffle, who has been involved with other solar projects. So just wanted to extend the offer again. I can leave business cards, but I just want to keep it under 3 minutes. So just had wanted to stop in for a few minutes. Leave these up here for you.
Any questions? Thank you. Brian Fisher? You do? Was there one?
I just said thank you.
Brian? Want to come up, please?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Brian Fisher, 1093 East Queensway. I just wanted to publicly express my thanks to the courteous and professional staff here at the Town Hall for all their help with setting up the State of Our Lakes presentation the other week. It's just a wonderful staff to work with, so I just thought it was important to publicly recognize them. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, number 7, information updates, meeting recaps, recent correspondence, current events, and announcements. I'm going to go first on this one. I'd like to recognize Taylor. She's our young lady at the office here, and she answers the phone, and she got a really great compliment the other day from one of our customer taxpayers, let's put it that way. And sounds like she went over and above beyond the call of duty to help this person out. So the person was very happy with her. So I want to make sure that gets back to Taylor. So.
She's here.
I'm here.
Okay. And
I got some, on that, we're talking about,
I'm going to start off with that one, yeah.
all right.
Just, as we stated before, the town board welcomes comments from all residents and property owners. When the platform is used to push a personal attack, no matter how subtle, containing mis or bad information, the board may respond at a later time. Our last town board meeting, comments were made with incorrect and misleading information. We have not had 7 regular board meetings, we had 3. We had one other additional meeting for appointing another person to a police and fire commission. The other 2, I guess, were quorum notices. We did have a town administrator's position listed on the first 2 board meetings. The first one where the board unanimously approved hiring a full-time town administrator. The second board meeting we had to cancel because we had issues. There was no budget that we saw. There was $26,000 in the budget for a town administrator, which was hardly enough. So we had to do some work trying to find funds in the budget to cover a town administrator, the benefits, and headhunter charges to get somebody in here. So that's why there has been no movement at this point. I'll let Mark talk about another issue there. While the full-time and town administrator position was very high on my list, it was not my number 1 priority. My number 1 priority was reversing the $40 million gift given to 59 property owners associated with the operation going on at this time. There was also 17 property owners where $200,000 of their tax money got reverted over to us on our backs. And we are reversing that. So we're going to have a new assessment done. That's all going to be taken care of. And that's all I've got for now. Okay? Mark?
You want to wait until we get down to the town administrator?
Okay.
All right, I got a couple of things here. On June 27th, the Visit Rome will donate their proceeds 100% to the library at the farmer's market. I guess they sell they sell T-shirts and whatever, so they're going to donate it to the library. So if you want to buy a shirt, go over there on that day. On August 8th, that's going to be the 25th anniversary for the library. So they're planning all kinds of festivities and stuff. Let's see. Tom over at the mini golf course is going to have a fundraiser for the Adams County, what do you call that? The
Humane
dog.
Society.
Humane Society. Okay, I was going to say Dog Society. It's going to be on July 22nd. So, people, he's asked donations for sponsoring a hole, and when you go there that day, if you're paying to go golfing that day, all the proceeds are going to go for the Humane Society. And one other thing now, in reference to the military banners, the application process to purchase the banners will be open starting next week through July 11th. All information will be available through the town website and various community social medias. So you watch for the announcement next week and contact information for any questions you may have. Well, I'm aware that many people are not on social media, so we're trying to get the people who are not into it involved, who want to have a banner, get in contact with me or the town hall, and we can get the application and get everything moving. We're hoping for a project date probably after, well, let's see, July 11th. Let's just say sometime in August of getting this thing rolling. And that's what I got.
I have nothing.
No?
I'm good.
Just to let everybody know, there's an annual meeting for Lake Camelot this Saturday at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Anything else? Nothing else. All right. Number 8, department and committee reports. Any questions on those? I had a question for a few of them. Just curious here, it says adult DVD collection. Can somebody give me a definition of what that is?
What is
This-
what report?
It's for the library, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Heather completed genre cataloging of the entire adult DVD collection.
I think it's just adult movies. Like
Yeah,
our-
anything over R.
Anything not- okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thought so.
PG-13
Yeah.
R.
Just want to make sure.
Well, what are you thinking here, Carl?
I'm not thinking anything. Okay, that's minutes. We'll cover that later. Okay, that's all I got. Anybody else? Any other questions? Discuss and possible action on the following items. Discussion and possible action, approval of the June 5th, 2025 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 5th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Discussion? I did have one note here on number 7, information updates. It states that they are not going to lower the speed limit, but they are going to put in a passing lane. There will be no passing lane at the intersection of Apache and 13. It'll be a right turn lane only. So. Any other discussion?
Did they talk about possibly lowering the speed limit to 45?
They will not lower the speed limit. They may look at it in the future if conditions change, but no, they will not lower it. That told us basically 3 times now. Yeah. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 10, discussion and possible action, checks, vouchers, receipts, and journal entries. Approved checks number 49463 through 49568 totaling $204,559.29. Auto payments totaling $79,469.13. State Social Security Medicare withholding totaling $55,709.06. Payroll vouchers V-23,675 through V-23,843 totaling $150,005.90. And checks 21,693 through 21,699 totaling $2,024.60. Receipts number 26470 through 26546 totaling $206,061.61. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And just a reminder, when anybody, if you're talking up there or here, make sure you're talking to the microphones. I got reminded on that. Number 11, discussion of possible action, presentation of the Rome Town Center Master Plan, adoption of Master Plan and Rome Town Center Subcommittee continuation. You have, please try and keep it short. It was
Yes.
not planned to be a full presentation.
Speaking of short, hold on a second. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Taylor. So I will make it as short as I possibly can. I was told I had 10 minutes, so I will take all 10. My name is Erica Freeman. My mom is Diana Dilge. She is one of the members of the RTC subcommittee who is here tonight. I have been coming up to Rome for 30 years, since 1995 when my grandparents bought property here. My last name is Freeman. My in-laws bought property on Lake Camelot back in the 70s. Both my husband's grandparents and their parents lived there for a long time, and my in-laws still reside in the town of Rome. I am the future resident of the town of Rome, which is why it's really important for me to be here on behalf of the RTC subcommittee, because the decisions that you're going to make with the master plan impact me, my sister, and her kids, and their future kids. So it's really important for us to be able to talk a little bit about some history. Carl did share that all of you are deeply familiar with the master plan, which is great. So then we can just get right to it. So I just want to highlight the RTC subcommittee members. My background is in public relations and communications, and I have the opportunity of presenting 2 boards similar to your makeup. And it's exciting for me because this is a perfect moment in time for a town board that has had deep work and commitment from the individuals that you see on the screen, not just in the town of Rome, but their background, the types of resources that you have that have been volunteering their time and energy to support the board, the CDA, and the Plan Commission is really remarkable. And so we will provide the slides afterwards too, so you can have all this information. Our goals for tonight, I told Carl we would get to the point. So the approval of the 25-year master plan that you have all been able to get very familiar with. And then certainly continuing the RTC subcommittee, because they're deeply committed to supporting you as a board, the CDA, and the Plan Commission in the important work. Future things that would be coming shortly after that would be finalizing the zoning and design guidelines, creating a developer RFP to implement the first phase of the plan. So that's an important piece that we'll talk about. working with the DOT on a new entry to the RTC, and then just continuing the discussions with the current property owners and ensuring alignment. The other part that the RTC subcommittee is interested in is having a member of the board join the subcommittee as a board liaison, and based on some of the agendas that are, the agenda, Tim, with your upcoming appointment, that was something that they would be hopeful for, that Tim might be able to join the RTC subcommittee and continue that work for the CDA and the Planning Commission. So why are we here? We're here because of the 3,094 residents of the town of Rome and the 35,000 acres that it represents. But we're really specifically talking about a small portion of it, the 230 acres of the Rome Town Center. I don't think I need you to see this because it's behind you, the vision, mission, and the values of the town of Rome. It's really interesting as you start doing some of the research and you look back to 2004, when the 2004, those vision and mission are in alignment from back in 2004. But we're really specifically thinking about that increased assessed value by 20%. And housing developments, both senior, aging in place, transitional, which we reference as workforce housing. And so when we think about the Rome residents and the age of Rome residents, they're retiring up here and purchasing homes, but there's a shortage of multi-unit homes. You can see the source is from the U.S. Census Bureau for the age, and then also from Visit Rome's website. They did an analysis with a market study to just define who the visitors and the residents of Rome are. So the visitors that come here, which I would also say the residents are here for those reasons, which I'm sure you're deeply familiar with. But that's why we're here. We wanted to get into the background and timeline, and first and foremost wanted to thank the town boards, current and previous boards, that have been committed to master planning and sharing that vision. The community members, there have been so many opportunities for community members, taxpayers, residents to lend their voices to the future of the town of Rome. The CDA, the Plan Commission, administrator, department heads, and zoning administrator. It takes a village, it truly does, or a town. There's been also a lot of professional resources similar to the RTC subcommittee makeup that have a depth of experience in master planning for towns just like the town of Rome, that have lent their time, energy, and talent to you, much of which either at a reduced cost or no cost. So that's pretty remarkable. And the work that I do, you don't see that. So I think that's something to really celebrate and acknowledge, that these individuals and these businesses have been great resources for you for a long time. And so as we think about that process, it really started with the design manual, led to a design plan, the master plan, which you saw on May 1st, and then really it's that next step, which is the master plan implementation. So I'm just going to fast forward some of the slides. So in April 2nd, 2004, the board that was in place at that time hired Verbicker Associates to create a plan, a design manual that would identify the Alpine Village Business Park. And so the goals that were identified way back in 2004 was to create employment opportunities, a diverse array of services, a high quality of life, year-round resident opportunities, and increase the town's tax base. That should all sound very familiar because it aligns to the 2019-2024 strategic plan that you already have in place. So as we think about February of 2007, the design manual started to be revised because there were some gaps for developers who were interested and or businesses to become part of Alpine Village Business Park, but there were just some challenges within the manual. So it was modified 8 times between 07 and 17. In 2014, the first draft of the design plan, so not the design manual, but the design plan that took more considerations in to become more developer friendly, that was used to create more interest from developers. You'll see a 7-year gap. Great Recession was part of that reason, right? You had other things that as a town you needed to focus on. In June of 2018, the town of Rome engaged a variety of different stakeholders from your community. This is a photo of the vision board that was the thoughts and feelings and emotions of your community and what they envisioned for the future town of Rome, which is what led to the master plan that you got on May 1st. So the vision, mission, and commitment from 2019, as you see, it aligns with the vision mission that sits behind you and that is on your website. And in April of 2019, the CDA approved that design plan that was going to be more helpful for developers to be able to build and develop opportunities in the Alpine Village Business Park. May of 2019, the town board approved the design plan. And then in August of 2019, the town board in place, which we have the individuals listed there, appointed an AVPBP subcommittee to modify zoning requirements. That was one of the reasons why the design manual was continuing to get edited and updated, is the zoning requirements were limiting development in that area. And at the time of the AVBP's original formation, it was meant for mostly industrial and not necessarily for the multi-use economic spaces that are being planned for in that master plan that all of you know well. So that AVP design plan from 2019, it really identified some takeaways that the town of Rome was on a cusp of growth that had not been seen in over 50 years, which is a tremendous opportunity for the boards that identified in '04 to have that vision and that strategic plan, and how exciting for all of you to be able to share in that similar moment in time. They identified that the demand would come first in lodging, which I think we all know and feel in the town of Rome, and that it would offer opportunities for a variety of different businesses to be able to grow their business and have workforce come in and work in those businesses. And truly the goals of this design plan was to shift away from a more traditional business park model into something that was more mixed use and economic, provided different economic opportunities that current residents required and asked for, and also future residents like myself. And then ultimately that reevaluating the zoning amendments we had mentioned was a barrier for developers to be able to come in and help support some of the local businesses to grow in that area. So, as you likely know, in April of 2020, the AVBP was renamed Rome Town Center, which is easier than an acronym, so I'm grateful that it's RTC. And then ultimately in the spring through November of 2023, the town board in that time embarked on a strategic planning effort with the staff, more community members, and Visit Rome, and they ultimately rehired MSA, which MSA was listed on that planning partner slide that helped with the Rome Town Center, the splash pad. They're currently working with you right now on a variety of different areas. And then Sam Schultz, who is also listed on that slide, who's a non-attorney consultant with Von Briesen. So I'm going to go through here. So in July of last year, the town board formed the RTC subcommittee, which is who I'm here on behalf of and presenting for, to implement the recommendations that Von Briesen came up with. And along that same time is when Mike Kaiser and Sand Valley donated master plan services, which in my business is a huge gift. That's tens of thousands of dollars that were avoided by the town. And so the subcommittee was also tasked with working with Cardo and those groups to come up with the master plan that all of you know very well. So in May 1st, that was presented to you, and we're here on June 19th, truly to honor the community's vision that's been 20 years in the making. And that's an exciting moment in time for you as a board to really reflect and think about how boards prior to you being here have really put this vision in place, where we have so many people here tonight that are interested in hearing what those next steps might be. And as you look at some of the highlighted areas, it really is that year-round. I mean, you drive into the town of Rome, and it truly is a town for all seasons, and that's what the master plan is meant to do, and it would establish. And it's desirable for residents and what their requests were in the multiple opportunities at focus groups and community open houses to create diverse housing. I know when the seniors are retiring up here and they have their big homes, there's not really a place for them to stay and age in place in the town of Rome. And then certainly attracting and retaining a workforce. I think that's something that it's the forefront of most towns across Wisconsin. And so that's something that the master plan would achieve. And so as you read the report, this was included in there. So there were three main takeaways. And as you think about that being proactive, that board from 2004 was very proactive, and you have that opportunity to really be thinking strategically about that vision. Because in 25 years, I will retire, and I'm excited about the opportunities that are ahead for the town of Rome. And then it's also growing responsibly, because we recognize that growing too fast is not great, but not growing at all also isn't great. And so making some strategic steps, and that's what that master plan provides to you as a board, is being very strategic and growing responsibly. And then always aligning to that 25-year vision. It's important to be forward-thinking and future-thinking when it comes to master planning. And so in the master plan, you saw image on the left that's grayed out but pulled forward is just a bite-sized parcel. That's that first phase I mentioned as far as the next step is concerned. That's really what would be needing to be focused on first, right? You're not going to tackle the whole 25 years in day one, but it's that first part, and Cardo recommended that spot because of the fact that the utility and road access exits are already in place. So those infrastructure costs are less. It's accessible and walkable to the current businesses that are in Rome Town Center and also to park areas. And then finally, it provides an opportunity for a different variety of community requested housing types. The images on the lower right-hand corner are the two that Cardo said were the most recommended for all the community meetings and the most liked. And as I say about Cardo, I just want to offer a statement that Patrick Brunner provided. He unfortunately is fishing in Canada and was not able to be here. But he said that your previous work over the past 20 years should be applauded. But now is the time to build on the strong foundation. The community has expressed a strong desire to create a mixed-use and walkable heart for the town, a place that supports a range of individuals by building a range of housing types and amenities. Continuing the work of creating this place requires vision, persistence, and a proactive spirit. So, as I wrap, the immediate next steps truly are for tonight to have that discussion. I know Carl had mentioned that there's a lot of questions that all of you have. I'm happy to say that the RTC subcommittee is here to hopefully answer all of your questions. But the goal would be to move forward tonight. And then also, hopefully, continue that great work the RTC subcommittee has done to support the town board, the CDA, and the plan commission with hopefully the appointment of Tim Reppin. And then there's just additional work that would start to fall into place once some of those more formal conversations happen. So with that, I'm going to open it up for questions and invite the RTC subcommittee up here to answer any questions that you have. So thank you very much.
Let's start with the audience. What questions might you have out there? Yes. Up to the booth there, please, the podium. Name and address. You know the routine.
Donna Hazel, 241 Penhurst Way. I guess one question is, having seen way more than this and all the diagrams and pictures of everything, which the majority of the people have not seen because nothing was ever included on the Roman Town website. But my question is, what happens to the...
Into the microphone.
What happens to the farmer's market? I didn't see that in the plan.
Stays exactly where it is now. Nothing
Okay,
changes.
but it wasn't shown
It's
anywhere.
incorporated in the plan.
Okay. And looking at everything as well, it seemed like there was way more housing than actual businesses. So I thought the whole purpose of the Rome Town Center was to bring some businesses in and to create jobs and all that. And there was just, the majority is housing, not businesses.
If you look at the picture on the right, that was down there. That portrays business down below with residential above. And that's one of the things we're trying to attract
No, I'm sorry, that right there
on the right-hand side.
on the right-hand side
There's
is
business below.
a 4-acre parcel.
Oh, no, right-hand side, not left-hand side, right-hand side.
No, I was reading the writing on the right. It said 4-acre.
Well, I'm talking about the pictures of the housing that you were referencing. And the picture shows the housing above business. That's one of the things we're trying to attract in this area.
The green on the
And
house from above.
and the reason for doing that is because it becomes self-sustaining. Is that if you have a business that also has either another business above or living quarters above, they're getting income for that place where we know that in the wintertime it's a struggle for everybody that's in business now. Can I interject? But having living quarters above, which can be rented out, 24/7, 12 months a year, there's income coming into that business. So that's one of the facets that we're trying to attract.
Can I interject here for 1 minute? When I saw this plan, it was at that Up North Brewery. You guys had that at the brewery over there. I was talking to the guy that's doing the presentation, and yes, he mentioned what you said. There's going to be housing above the businesses, but he also mentioned that there's going to be 200 homes on 40-foot wide lots. Now, my understanding is we have a zoning ordinance, should be at least half-acre lots. Am I right? Where's, I mean, that's what my understanding, but he said it was going to be 200 homes. That's like living in suburbia.
That's why I think they want to change the zoning. Exactly. Which is not, well, kind of what we were thinking, but.
That, I mean, this, I might as well, throw it out there. 200 homes in that area in 40-foot lots, I might as well move back to Chicago.
Yeah, it's more like Little Chicago than it is.
I just want to reflect back on some of the research that was shared with us from Visit Rome and how there is a desire and a need for multi-unit. And I would also say that from an age in place perspective, certainly that is your hope and dream, right, is that you're not having Chicago. But I do think there are people that might be here that don't want to cut a lawn or want to have more community, want to be able to walk to businesses. And that was the feedback that was provided by community members. They wanted more walkability, which means smaller properties, because in order to go from your home to a business, you need less time to walk to those areas or to drive to those areas. But you're right, one of the goals is for the zoning requirements, and that's what the RTC subcommittee would work on.
Yeah. There are lots and lots of properties that are out there that could have multi-units. Why the Rome Town Center? Just because
I think
so
from
people-
feedback from the community and the focus groups and the open houses and
Because most people that come up here are not into walking, maybe biking.
Sure,
But,
yeah.
they're not, nobody walks to the store up here. I mean, that's just the way it is.
They can't, right? They
Right.
can't walk
You
there
don't
because
want
of the
to.
danger
You
of the
don't-
55-mile-an-hour Highway 13.
You really don't want to. You're
Yeah.
crossing over on your ATV or wherever it may
yeah.
be.
Let me ask you this question here.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying this is all something from survey from the people. I never got a survey.
I didn't say survey. I said community focus groups and open houses where they were invited. And I think similar.
So my thing is
Mm-hmm.
to get a gauge of the people, send something out and let them respond.
How many people did respond?
There wasn't a response. There wasn't a survey. It was.
Up north,
In your
right?
That was
community
one of many.
engagement,
In
How
the
many people were there?
It sounded like there were several hundred people between.
So no one did an official count.
Were you were there though, right? Did you see how many people were there? I think it's more of a visual representation with
About
Patrick.
30 when I got there, so I
Okay,
don't know.
that's
I don't know.
that's a really
what I
good
don't
turn.
know.
That's a good turnout.
It is, that's great. It's 30
Yeah.
people. That's good.
Yeah.
But they're speaking for 3,000 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, okay. I'm just thinking, to me, if you want an actual gauge, let's send out a survey, see what the people
Would that be
want.
something that the town of Rome would be willing to put out as a survey to the community, asking them what their vision is for the community and the Rome Town Center, and they'd be willing to spend the money to do that?
First of all, let me backtrack here a little
Yeah.
bit. You guys are getting way ahead of yourselves. We have to have a comprehensive plan, and you can't do anything that you're talking about, zoning changes and all that doesn't fit in the comprehensive plan, and it doesn't right now. The whole comprehensive plan has to be formulated, and adopted before any of this can take place.
That's correct, and so you're
Well,
saying that the
hold on.
master.
That plan is due next year. It should have been done this year, and we are going to start working on it this year. But that has to be first, and we will have the community input on that.
How
We've
are
done
you
that in the
looking to
past.
engage the community with that? Is it,
We'll have open houses here, we'll have feelers out there. We do have to hire a firm that'll help lead us through the whole process.
Sure.
We've done that before.
which is
2016
good.
was the last one.
MSA does that type of work, so that could be good.
Yeah, there's several operations out there. We had a different outfit in 2016. I forgot who it was, but that all has to take place first. And then I don't think a lot of the people here did see the master plan. You're talking several hundred. I don't think so. I saw maybe 30 there too. But what was your response? I remember at the RTC meeting right after the shows, there was a positive of about 20%. That came out of the RTC meeting.
Positive responses?
Yeah.
About 20%?
20% of those that attended.
Yeah.
It was higher than that. There were a lot of people that were interested in housing. There was a question about density from people.
Yep.
But when you think about density, we're talking about a very small portion of the town that would provide for controlled growth. You can still have your suburban lots all over the place. There's nothing that would exclude that. But we're trying to bring some, if you want to really provide more services to this community, you have to get dense housing and get people in
Oh,
the
yeah.
same place that are
Bill,
going to use the
Bill.
services.
You have to go to the mic, sorry about that, but, yeah, sorry about that.
It's just that
It's not,
People aren't hearing you at
recording
home.
isn't going to pick you up, and the people who are watching from home can't hear you.
They just need you to talk into the microphone.
sorry, folks.
Bill Capel, 104 Jupiter Lane. And one of the things we had a lot of discussion on was the density of the housing, because it is quite drastic change from what we've had in the past. But it's not, when you think about the mission and vision of the town that we've had for the past 20 years, or 40 years. And that is that you want to control the growth. That's what the 10-year plan is going to try and do. It's going to try and control the growth. This is trying to condense some of that growth to provide for future tax revenue for the town, but also to provide for services and businesses that will move in because there is a density of the population available to them to use those services. If we don't get that, we're not going to get a dry cleaner, or we're not going to get a, we have, everybody wants a drugstore, everybody wants a dry cleaner, everybody wants a car wash. The same things have come up since I've moved up here. There's a chance of attracting those types of individual businesses if we get into this type of a project.
If we had infrastructure that could support some of that, which at this point, we don't have water for a car wash and stuff like that. So we have to think that way first before you start planning something else.
I'm just using that as an
Yeah.
example, but there's plenty of other businesses that people want that don't have water issues.
Right.
Yeah, one of the things, my wife took a little bit of my thunder. I was thinking about the Rome Farmers Market as I left it 2 weeks ago. And it brought up a question I had asked at the Up North Brewery. I asked the fellow, what about parking? If you got one home, you got a 40-foot wide lot, you got one car. And then you throw the Rome Farmers Market in there, holy cow. They're up and down Geneva, all the roads. Where are they going to park now? If there's, you might want to still keep the farmers market there, but I expect in 20 years, 25 years, that's going to be a lot bigger than it is now. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to park? I mean, it's gone. Parking's
And it's
gone.
not just a question of parking. If you sit back and start putting businesses in there, how is it going to impact their business on Friday mornings when you have the farmer's market? I mean, how?
It's good. It should be good for them.
Well,
I would
walk there, I guess,
assume
in that
that would
respect, but again,
be
you're
a positive,
gonna-
right? More foot traffic typically tends to increase your business, so I would think that it would be a positive for them.
Residential's maybe not so much, but
But again,
Although
foot
they-
traffic from where are they going to park?
There's parking included in the master plan. There's parking
didn't see it.
spaces,
No,
there's parking
They want
lots.
to make it diagonal parking rather than horizontal. I saw that.
Diagonal parking is actually more safer, and it provides more opportunities for
Not
cars
as
to not
much.
scratch and dent each other.
still not a lot of parking, but
I mean, what you need is a parking lot.
So there's parking lots included in the long term, the 25-year vision, but that first parcel, that 4-acre parcel of the 230 acres, doesn't have a parking lot in that 4 acres.
You kind of got a catch-22 here. You want more businesses to attract people, and the people to attract the businesses, but we got snowbirds. They leave in the winter, and that's one of the issues we have here. Also, in the last 5 years, how many businesses have opened up in the RTC?
Well, I think since I've been coming up here, right, and I think due in large part to Pritzel selling, I think that really helped foster some more development and gave more
Three
people
businesses
opportunities.
in the last 5 years
Yeah.
in the business park.
Well, and I think that's part of why the design plan had some limitations with some zoning. So I think that's true. There's 3 businesses, but I think what the purpose and what you'll know when you go through your comprehensive master planning, the idea is to figure out ways to grow businesses and grow economic development, which comes with housing and which comes with opportunities for businesses. So clearly, 3 more have opened, which is 3 more than opened probably 10 years prior to that, right? It's been slow growth. And so I think that's where this master plan has been such a benefit, because it's going to be able to help you be more controlled in your growth. And you'll know, I assume that you'll use the master plan, at least some of that information, to help inform your comprehensive plan. Anybody who you hire would want to ask what existing documentation and plans that you have in place. They would likely lean heavily on that.
Carl? What I'm getting out of this tonight is before anything can go forward, we have to do the comprehensive plan.
Pretty much.
And that's due next year?
I'm not sure of the date, but I'd like to get it done this year.
I don't believe.
Microphone.
I'm not sure if I totally agree with you, Carl, with regard to the sequence of events and the
That's state
comprehensive.
statute. The comprehensive plan, it's in statute what you can and can't do.
That I understand, but the sequence of what you're saying with regard to approval of the master plan tonight and the comprehensive plan and beginning the development in the Rome Town Center, we would have to have the master plan approved. At the same time that we're going to be doing the development, you're going to be taking care of the comprehensive plan and getting that in order by May of next year.
So do you really think you should go backwards? You should do this plan first and then the comprehensive plan? I don't know how, that's out of order in my way of
You're
thinking.
putting the cart before the horse.
I mean, I would say that from a master plan perspective, comprehensive would look at not just the RTC, correct? You're going to look at the 34,624 acres and figure out what does that long-term plan for that look like. I think what can benefit you from a comprehensive planning standpoint is that master plan, because your greatest opportunity for economic development, economic growth is that 230 acres. And so I don't think it's putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, Vito. What I think it's doing is helping inform whomever that consultant is that you hire. And if you can say that, here's what our vision is for this parcel, and then they can see how that can impact, benefit, or challenge or constraint the overall comprehensive plan. But I think what the goal would be is to allow them to live simultaneously. And I think if the desire is for that comprehensive plan to be done first, I think it would be really great for you to engage with a consultant and maybe ask their input and to say, is it a detriment or a negative for us to move forward with a master plan for only a small percentage of our community? Or is it a positive? Because that could help inform some of your decision-making. But I do think that this is an opportunity for you to really continue that work that started in '04 and lean into that small parcel from the whole big scope of things, but it has the most opportunity for you as a town to increase your tax base, which was part of your strategic plan, of course, and then certainly increase some of the housing opportunities for workforce housing and that senior part in that area.
So you seem to have quite an urgency on this. What is the reason? If it's
I think when you looked at the full, when you look at the timeline and you look at some of the gaps and some of the decision-making, right, you can certainly look at the Great Recession. You can look at the 2020 and the pandemic. I think the desire is that there's momentum here and you've been given that donation for the master plan, and that there's momentum, and you have community members that are interested, and a town board that is dedicated and committed to a comprehensive plan. So I don't think it's an urgency. I think it's just when you have momentum and you have excitement, you have vibrancy, I think it's just leveraging all of that to keep it moving forward versus taking 2 steps forward to take 10 steps back. So I don't know it's urgent. I think it's just really how can we continue this momentum moving forward of the great work that the town board appointed and wanted to make sure that the subcommittee was being focused and then bringing that recommendation back.
Carl, somebody from back had a question.
Sure, yes, sir. Come on up to the podium, please. And name and address.
My name is Matt Elmhorst. I'm actually next on the agenda here, so I'm not trying to speed things up. But
Okay.
So we're building the buildings across the road there and working on that and looking to bring things in. So obviously, I love the town of Rome too and want to create these opportunities. But feedback that I've gotten from people that want to invest in the town of Rome is the infrastructure. So as I see the mass density and stuff, I guess just a question maybe for you, Vito, or whoever on the board, like, is there even infrastructure over there? I mean, if you've got parcels on 40-foot wide lots, like wells, septics, you know,
Well,
we just
that
don't
was
have
a
the
question I
infrastructure.
asked, man. And in addition, I don't know if I mean, again, I think a lot of people here, and I would love to see a show of hands, who saw this plan at the Up North? Okay, so there's a few. Now, one of the things they want to put in there also is a hotel.
Right. I have some people that, I'm just in building and infrastructure and stuff that would just love to put in a hotel. But, I mean, you can even see just for our mixed use over there, the size of our septic system for a mixed use building, you have to have massive parcels to try to get these private well and septics up there. So I wasn't sure if there's any infrastructure in the business park over there. I mean, you start looking at these things, it's like it's not even feasible without master, an incredible amount of development to even put this ahead.
And we've
So
had an
just
engineering
my
company
opinion.
give us pricing on that, getting that here, and it's an outrageous amount of money.
And I think that's one of the reasons why one of the steps is to create a developer RFP, because those are some costs that you would have developers have to put the infrastructure in place if they wanted to develop mixed-use residential with retail and recreation. That becomes part of your developer, and you pass the costs on for them.
We have that in the developer's agreement already as they purchase, so.
So then they can put the infrastructure in place, so that really kind of,
But having larger infrastructure is, something that we just don't have
yet.
readily available.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, we've
But it
got-
would be included in the developer RFP.
We've gotten
Oh,
costs,
yeah, feel free.
we've gotten costs in the past, hold on. We've gotten costs in the past for a pout system, for sewer, tying it with Saratoga, going into Port Edwards, and I don't remember the pout system, but it wouldn't handle anything of this nature, so you'd have to look at a sewer, and the minimum cost I saw was $5 million. And who knows what, and RFPs might tell you that now. That was years ago, yeah. Who knows what it's gonna be 25 years from now, so I'm not even sure an RFP makes sense at this point.
Because I had done some research on this already, and I wanted to pull, I'm not good at wording it, let me put it that way, but this is from the Wisconsin Department of Administration, talking about zoning or the comprehensive plan and what comes first, And basically, it indicates that if you do not have a current comprehensive plan, it actually puts you at risk of violations if you're going to be changing zoning or subdivision regulations if you do not have the current. You're actually going to be in, as far as a comprehensive plan, actually has consistency requirements. So you're looking to do the zoning before the comprehensive plan. And basically, this is. Huh?
Is there a current comprehensive?
Yes, there is, and I know that this does
But
not
it's not
fall in
included
that
in there, that's the
comprehensive
issue.
plan.
It's kind of what I brought up before, so.
So comprehensive plan needs to be done first, based on state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, actually, they can be done simultaneously.
Well,
I
simultaneously.
understand with that, but the thing is, it's going to have to be open for change, because I don't know, again, most of the residents probably haven't seen all this. You're going to have many changes over the time, 10, 20, 30 years from now, who knows what it's going to be like. The other thing is, have you done growth studies?
Have they done the RTC subcommittee? They're appointed with.
Anybody? Is there any growth studies for this part of Adams County? Where are the jobs coming from?
Well,
To support all these homes. And again, we have looked at homes 55 plus. Again, we were sandbagged because we didn't have septic, for them, pout systems
Sure.
and whatnot. That's one of our biggest issues.
Right.
But we were looking at multi-units, not single units at that time. So I don't know which way to go.
Right.
Comprehensive plan might help us in that respect.
Yeah. Well, I guess to answer your question, since the RTC subcommittee is appointed by the town board, was the expectation that they would put together a growth and hire a company to determine what the growth would be? Because there are companies out there that will do demography and understand what the potential for growth is. So I don't know if that's something that you're going to do as part of your comprehensive plan, is a growth study?
It's usually included in that, yes.
Okay. So then I guess you will have that information and determine where the growth is going to come from?
Yeah.
Because they'll talk to developers?
Yeah, because you're talking 200 homes. That's a lot, even if 20, 25 years from now, so.
Over a 25-year period, the 200 homes, yeah.
We don't see
Name
Tiffany
and-
Sivecki, 637 Hampton Trail. I don't see Lisa Kubis here, but in speaking with her, they have an awesome app, I'm sure she's talked to you guys about it, that runs it tracks people that have been here, cell phone pings, all those sorts of things, so she can get all of the demographics. And one of them, it was that we have seen an 11% growth in Rome. Now, over the number of years, I don't exactly recall, so I wish Lisa was here.
She's right there.
There, hi. Where did the 11% growth in Rome come from? Do you remember what study that was or what the years were?
Economic development.
Yes, WEDC. Yes, that's where it was. Thank you. So being somebody who came from a small town, I came from a village of Winneconne, same population, actually, we had a little bit less. We had a little grocery store, we had the little things. And the concentration in our town was, we are a fishing town with a drinking problem. I would say here we have a drinking problem with fishing town. We wanted to keep it small. We want to keep it special. And that's what we want. That's what we're here for, is to make sure that Rome stays small and special. Just because the plan showed that there was the opportunity for a boutique hotel doesn't mean there is going to be. Just because it shows that there's an opportunity in 25 years for 200 homes doesn't mean there's going to be. It could be. We're also sitting on land that we could be making tax money off of that we're not utilizing. And you can never put an infrastructure in if you don't have the tax base to be able to do it. So I think that is the goal of this, is not to bring in this insurmountable amount of growth, but to do it smartly so that we can keep us from becoming the next Green Lake. Because I have clients coming here that are leaving Green Lake for that reason, or the next Lake Geneva, or the next Monaco. None of us want that. But we do want to retire here. I want to retire here. It took me 30 plus years to move, and I don't want to move again. And so that is our goal, and I think that's why we want to continue the work, is working along with the town of Rome to make sure that we can be doing things smartly. We're also seeing businesses that are having to shut down for a couple of days, or early on a Sunday, because they don't have a cook. We don't have wait staff. I know, like Cal's right now, they're struggling with staffing. I closed the doors on my business because people didn't want to work anymore. We live 30 minutes from town, and we don't have housing out here that is affordable for some of our staffing that we would need, in such as cooks, things like that. So I think that's what we're trying to build here is, hey, you can have a business and it can be affordable, because a small business owner, you can't necessarily afford this entire building. But if we put an apartment on top, now that's a little bit more affordable housing that somebody who needs to waitress or cook and maybe makes a little bit less can afford to rent that, and it helps off-put the cost of having the business for that business owner downstairs. And I think that's what we're trying to drive, is being able to grow in that way, grow smartly, be able to keep businesses here. With the growth that we've seen, the more people come here, the more restaurants we want, the more bars we want, maybe more boutique hotels, things like that. And we just don't have the workforce to be able to do that, or the affordability.
Be honest with you, I'm not inclined to vote on anything tonight because I don't have enough information. I know a lot of the folks out there, some have seen it, some haven't, and don't know what we're talking about here.
Yep.
So that's my inclination. It's up to the board.
Yep, and so I think that was kind of the point of tonight, is if we're not able to get that vote to move forward, what do we need to see, and what are the steps so that we don't lose the momentum that's been there? And it's been 20 years in the making, and the community has been involved over the 20 years in saying this is what we want, and we're hearing it over and over again. So how do we make sure that that is done the right way, and we can keep moving forward with it?
I think going in conjunction with the other program, I think we can run them both at the same time, but we're going to need a lot more information.
Yep, absolutely.
And what I'd like from you folks is what you budget, what you spend on, everything you've been covering. I mean,
Right.
because there's
Yep.
not much information here.
Right. No,
Anybody else?
and I would agree. So what we're looking for is that ability to move forward, because we were kind of in a place where we could not move forward. So if we can move forward as a committee, we can build those. We can't change anything without the board's approval. So it's just being able to move forward as a subcommittee, help build those things to put forth to you so that we can kind of work hand in hand. That's absolutely the goal.
Could the CDA do that same project without having to have a subcommittee?
The CDA has hardly met, so I would say no. I think it the RTC was made as a conglomeration of different folks, so somebody from the board, somebody from plan commission, somebody from the community, real estate.
Can I make a suggestion? Next CDA meeting, I think you guys ought to attend it and get together, okay?
The RTC.
Yes. You meet with the CDA folks. Yeah.
Yep.
Meet with them and move forward there. I'd like to move this whole meeting forward if we can tonight.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
if we can. So, any other thoughts?
I think we just table it and
Yes, sir.
see if they.
Tom?
First Thursday of the month.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm Thomas Wright, 1320A Arrowhead Trail, Nakusa. I speak from experience. I spent almost 40 years as a city planner, an urban planner. I've developed comprehensive plans. I wrote zoning ordinances. I understand what this committee is speaking about, and I understand the issues facing the town board. Now, it's a basic tenet in urban economics that business follows housing. Unless you've got population, people to buy, business doesn't lead, business follows. But that aside, you currently have a comprehensive plan that can be amended. You don't have to put the brakes on and say, hold up everything. We got a new comprehensive plan coming. If I were the consultant hired next year, I would thank these people. But I'd get down on my knees and thank them because the work they've done from the standpoint of background research, the other work that they've done is exactly what a consultant would have done, and they're already doing it. So God bless this group. There's no reason why the group, the RTC, cannot be working with the town board, because the town board can be working to amend the existing comprehensive plan so that when the consultant comes in to do the new comprehensive plan, you've got that one step forward. As far as amending the zoning ordinance, you don't, Bill used the word control growth. You don't control, you want to guide growth, because the market is going to be the determination of what goes on. And whether they're 40-foot lots, 42-foot, or 62-foot lots for housing, the market will make that determination. And the plan that is developed should be fluid enough so that you can adjust with the market as it goes out there. I loved all my career conditional uses, so that you could negotiate virtually everything and you dealt with the market forces. But all I'm saying to this board is you can be working on it right now because you have a plan. You don't have to wait. To this lady over here that read the state statutes, she's entirely correct. If you're going to zoning and implementation planning must be based on a comprehensive plan. Every court case I would have appeared at as an expert witness, the first thing the judge would ask was, is there a comprehensive plan? And if you have a comprehensive plan, you say, the proposal that we have before us is in attuned to the comprehensive plan, you're on your way to victory. So I see no reason why the board can't be utilizing the resource that this committee has put forward and look at the utilization of that 240 acres?
230.
Pardon?
230 acres.
200 and some acres. That's just a small portion of a town, right? That's only, what 20% of a section of land, and there are 36 sections in the town of Rome at least. But anyway, honor what they've done and thank them for it. And don't just find ways to obfuscate this whole issue, because it's important to Rome. Look how fast Rome is growing, and it's not really growing. But there's people out there that want to invest with the right attitude and the right resources. So Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. And you used one of the terms I was searching for, fluid. I agree with that, fluid. That was one of the things, that's why I didn't want to put a vote here and say, yeah, we're moving forward with this plan. We have to be fluid again, because 10, 20, 30 years from now, we don't know. So, anybody else? Any other questions, comments? We'll table that then. Okay. Number 12, discussion and possible action, consideration of recommendation from the Plan Commission on a site plan of operation for Golden Ferret Golf Sims to lease space from Heartland Custom Homes, owned by Matt Elmhorst, for the property located at 1144 County D, also described as Lot 1 of CSM 6905, located on the southwest 1/4, northeast 1/4, Section 08, Town 20 North, Range 06 East, Town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, with a parcel number of 03006370020. You're there already. Okay.
Let's move this along.
Okay. Do you have any questions for him, or any questions, or?
I think it was just about the paving is really the only question.
But the paving and the signage, right? We
Yep.
talked about that.
Yep.
They weren't going to do just the one building, right? The paving, the building you're going to be on.
Yeah, so my business partner and half owner was the one at the last meeting, so not completely up on it. On the questions that you're looking for, yes, we do intend to pave. I guess we want some clarification on what the expectation and the timeline is. Being as there's about 7 out of 24 businesses in the gateway right now that are paved, we're not even done with construction yet, and this is kind of being pushed on us. So just wondering, I was told when we started the construction by the former administrator and zoning people that were here that we would have 2 years to pave. And obviously, this is all personal money that I'm putting into this, and we need to get it rented and get businesses going. And we'll continue to invest in the town of Rome, because basically what the RTC is doing, we love town of Rome and the possibilities that are here, and just talking to people, mixed-use commercial. We could have built spec houses, we could have done other things, but feedback that we got personally was mixed-use commercial. People want to start businesses, but it's hard to build that building on your own. Once the building's there, businesses can come in if people are investing, and we want to keep doing that. We definitely do want to pave. I guess we just want to set what that expectation is. I've got some more concrete to be poured inside yet. I don't want to pour pavement and bring 80,000-pound concrete trucks over the top of it. So we just want a judicial timeline of what the expectation is.
Matt, what do you think your timeline is as far as finishing the building?
Yeah, for me, obviously, we want to get Golden Ferret in there and operating. He's not as concerned about the parking lot paving, as maybe the town board is. But our hope, we're also dealing with a couple other people that might be renting in the other side. We want to move a satellite office for our company down here as well. All that takes time and money. So we're really, I would say before the batch plants close down this year, which is normally about the 1st of November, we would plan to be
Did they
paved.
give you a condition on the planning commission? You're the guy, you're the owner of the property, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and the gentleman that was here last month too, we're 50-50
Right, 'cause,
partners on it, yeah.
You're not the guy that's leasing it. So
Correct.
they gave you a condition of when that when to put the parking lot in for that first business. I think that was, what, a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, our goal, like I said, is to have it done before we get cold this year. Like I said, I don't want to pave now and bring concrete trucks in and.
I understand that,
Yep.
Matt, and, if you're saying you'll pave it before ice up
Yep.
this year.
Yeah, batch plants
I don't have a
typically will
problem
close
with
down
that.
November 1st to November 14th, somewhere in there, just depending on how God blesses us with the temperatures. And like I said, our goal is to get it finished off and done. Part of that is getting these businesses, like if Golden Ferret can get in there and start paying me rent, well, then I start getting a return and, that money that goes into continual investment, but.
I'm
it-
satisfied if Matt says he's going to have it paved by ice up this year.
Yep. We are looking at just the costs, we could do part of it sooner. I know that the whole business gateway, kind of that 200-foot thing, obviously off of County D, we already have 200 feet paved. That was our easement that was there for 200 feet off the center line. That's only about 22 feet into the first building. I don't want to draw a line at 22 feet and pave that. you know, I see there's a lot of other minimum paving around and stuff. So we are talking about, you know, with you know, your approval too, should we not have the full funds to do the whole parking lot, but the whole first building is rented, we would stay to the right side of our easement, and basically, you know, 3/4 of the parking lot gets paid. But obviously, if we're bringing equipment in, it's more cost effective to just get the whole thing done. But a couple other businesses that are looking in there are talking about drive-through for food and other stuff that's kind of to go. So to do that, we're talking about parking lot elevations and a drive-through window, you know, so locking in too early on paving and having to rip it back out because we need to get elevation set for drive-through or something like that on the east building. You know, like we're real confident with the tenant that's in the west building right now that paving elevations and all can be set, but there is some question with future renters on the east building if we would have to adjust paving height for
I'd like to
drive-through
help
window.
Matt lease out the building over there. Like I said, if he says by November 1st, just as the date for paving the lot, I'm good with that.
Motion?
I'll make a motion, let's see. On the recommendation of Plan Commission on a site plan operation for Golden Fair at Golf Sims to lease space from Heartland Custom Homes, owned by Matt Elmhurst.
Your
With the
recommendation?
condition of,
With the condition of the paving by,
before the end of the year, how about that?
yeah, before the end of the year.
Okay, I'll second that.
Discussion?
Because we, like I said, we did that, you know, we talked about it in the planning commission and did put a condition, but you just put a date on it.
Yeah.
And you agree on the date.
Yeah.
We're good.
All those in favor? What was it?
Aye.
Question?
Aye.
No, we're trying to.
What?
I need to, excuse me.
Okay,
Get
all
my
those-
cord. She's gotta go get a cord.
Oh, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
She got to fire up a computer?
She's, well, yeah, she's
All right.
having the same problem I had last week.
Okay. Discussion and possible action, number 13, consideration of recommendation from the Plan Commission on a preliminary plat for Alpine Estates, first edition on 40 acres owned by TNS Land Investments to be located on two separate parcels totaling 40 acres, described as follows, being all of lots 18 and 19 of Alpine Estates, located in part of the southwest, 1/4 southeast, 1/4 of Section 7, Township 20 North, Range 6 East, Town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin.
This, if you remember, this was in the planning commission where there was a problem where they couldn't find where the rezoning paperwork is. And, you know, I was saying, how can you proceed? They said, well, it was rezoned, but they can't find it. For some reason, something happened. I don't know if, you know, so I'm just wondering, you know, should we move on with this till we find if it's proper?
Well, this is just a preliminary, right? It's going to come back to us again, right? So they're going to look into it. That's the way I understood it.
This is a preliminary.
A preliminary plat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a preliminary.
Okay.
So it's going to come back anyway, so.
Okay, as long, you know.
As long as we go forward, then way they can get going and look for that, and then we can,
Otherwise, we have to go back to step one and rezone it.
right,
All right.
yep.
Oh,
We
sure.
actually, I've been in touch with
Name
Jeremy.
and address, please.
I've been in touch with Jeremy at MSA, and they did find where the minutes and everything were for all of this. We went back and Googled it, and it was from like January of '23 when it was originally all done for this. But they do, Jennifer, Whiteford with Town Construction.
So you have all the paperwork?
They do have paperwork, yes.
Okay, so they found the paperwork and it's been recorded with the county.
Oh, Jeremy found the minutes too. Do I have to give my address?
No.
Okay. So Jeremy Peach, the interim zoning administrator, did find the minutes and said that it would suffice because the original first Alpine Estates subdivision was recorded and rezoned. However, the zoning administrator from that time never forwarded that to the county to have our town zoning map updated, but it was rezoned, and Jeremy said that that would suffice for meeting the requirements of the rezone. So that whole parcel and the first Alpine Estates first edition is rezoned to residential.
So does that have to go back to the planning commission, Tim?
Thank you, Taylor.
Well,
Then we're good to
they
go.
were gonna come back to us, the planning commission, with
Okay.
that information,
Yeah.
but, yeah,
Oh, we got it now.
we got it. I mean, that's good.
We have a motion then to approve the consideration from the Planning Commission, the preliminary plat for Alpine Estates First Edition.
And I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 14, discussion and possible action, approval of resolution number 25, a resolution revising the Town of Rome fee schedule. I'm guessing we don't have time for this. Can we table this, or do we have?
No, I'm the one that asked
I'm sorry.
to table it from last meeting to this meeting. I've talked to Wendy, and I'm fine with the fee schedule as it stands right now.
As it stands, okay. So,
Make a motion then to approve the resolution number 25 resolution revising the Town of Rome fee schedule.
I'll second it.
discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. 15, discussion and possible action, approval of the town administrator job description and obtaining Public Administration Associates LLC for recruitment. Mark?
Just to reiterate what Carl said at the beginning of this meeting on the board not acting on a town administrator position, I will state that that was the number one priority in my campaign for the election, and it stayed that. For the last month and a half, I've been working on a job description for the town administrator. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I've gotten 4 or 5 job descriptions from other communities in Wisconsin, and I've picked and chosen the sections that I thought should be in the job description for a town administrator. That was sent out to the board. By no means are we finished with that job description yet. I'm going to, I've enlisted, or I've talked with Kevin Bruner from Public Administration Associates. That's the firm that did the organizational structure of the town back in 2023. Kevin sent me that report from the study that they did back in 2023. He's also stated that his company is more than willing to help us go through the selection process for the town administrator. The review will, if the board agrees, that Kevin and his company will review the job description, make improvement changes. This is what they do. They'll assist in looking over the town ordinance, town administrator, which I didn't know we had, but we do. The board got a copy of it today. It's a one-page I think it's lacking in a lot of things, as was the job description. But they'll help us advertise. And Kevin said he thinks he's got a couple people already that might be interested in the job. They'll do the background interviews, help us with the selection. They'll work with the board and the town staff in coming up with a town administrator. So that's what I've been doing for the last month and a half.
Do you have a projected date?
It's,
there has to be time to post it, to get applicants.
we got it.
What are we looking at?
It's going to be a long process. It's not going to be fast. If we're going to do this, I want to do it right, and I want to get the right person, and it's going to take time.
Is the staff prepared to work independently without the town administrator at this time?
We've had the discussion. They have said they can work it out, but we have offered it to, if we need to hire additional help, part-time help, they got to do what they got to do. So,
So we can,
We've had
so
a
we want to make
discussion.
sure that they're getting the help they need.
Yeah.
They've got a lot going right now, but they've got a good staff.
So this could be like a 6-month project.
It could be.
Okay, and the second question, did we find the monies?
Yes. There's $94,000 or $97,000 in the community room fund that's available.
And the funds for this company that you're going to hire to find us one is how much? And is
It's,
that to be
it's-
built into?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cheryl, it's in the
Right.
packet. It's
Right.
14,000
Okay.
something.
All right, Cool.
Yeah, we have salary, we have benefits, and we have headhunter charges, but, yeah.
I make a motion then to go ahead and hire this company to get going and getting this up and running for us.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mark. That was a lot of effort. Number 16, discussion and possible action, wake boat ordinance update. Suppose we got some questions from the audience here. 1 second. Just wanted to let them know, we met with an organization called Last Wilderness Alliance, and they were at our meeting at Tri-Lakes, gave us a full presentation of what they do and what they're able to do. So it's one of the items we will be looking forward to working with them and with the town. It's a serious consideration, and there's a lot of thought and effort behind it, but it is something we have to look at very seriously for the conditions of our lakes. There's a lot of information out there. So, go ahead.
There's a gentleman from Waupaca who's associated with Last Wilderness Alliance. He was at the meeting, Tri-Lakes meeting yesterday. Fred Silway, I think it was his name. I'm going to be calling him tomorrow and setting up a meeting with him, hopefully for next week. We're going to come up with a plan and a schedule on what we need to do if we're going to go forward with this.
I've done what's called a condition report. It's required by the DNR, anything along this nature. They will look at it and refine it, but it will be available. We'll put it on our website. We're going to probably create a spot on our website for the wake boat just to keep everybody updated. The condition report, it's about 4 pages. It goes into a little bit of the history of the lakes, but also what happens. And actually, I learned a lot working on this thing, looking at all the studies that are out there, trying to be unbiased. But there's a lot of good information in there, but it's very conclusive, let's put it that way. And we do have some information here from Last Wilderness Alliance explaining some of the techniques and things that they've found, what some of the issues are. So we haven't gone in motion or anything like that, so if anybody, discussion, or we're open, sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kurt Johnson, live at 951 Wellington Court. And I really think that we need to put restricted hours on this. I mean, the biggest problem we have out there is if you're out there fishing at 5 o'clock or something, or you make dinner and you're going to go out and cruise around on the boat, you don't need a wake boat out there tearing up the water, okay? Now, these wake boats make big waves, but we're right on the water, and I'm telling you, these boats that are pulling tubers and stuff come right by our docks and make just crazy waves right next to us. Now, we have all rock walls up and stuff. These are man-made lakes. It's not a glacier lake. I think that should be different than a natural lake, but maybe it's not. But I think if we said, whatever, noon to 3, you can wake boat. Okay, after that you can't, okay? Because you get these pontoons out there, kayakers, fishermen, they don't want all them waves like that, and I don't blame them. Okay, I don't want them when I'm out there fishing. So I really think that there should be, instead of just banning it, make it 3 hours a day, 2 hours a day. I mean, a lot of times during the week when I'm out there, there is no other boats out there during the week. I love it during the week. Okay, I love Rome. Okay, I love it the way it is. I don't need 200 houses either. That low income. That's just crime and everything. But I think there should be something done and not just ban it.
We're not planning on banning the boats. Nobody's doing that. There's been 59 ordinances passed already in the state, and none of them ban the boats. They're all just restricting the use of the wake enhancing features.
Well, I realize that, but that's one part that we love, is out there surfing.
Yeah,
they're surfing on a wave.
Read the condition report, and it's not hours wouldn't help. I mean, we're talking destruction of the sediment. We're talking destruction of the shorelines. like I said, canoers, kayakers, they wouldn't dare go out there. We actually, it's personal damage, personal injury, and property. My wife had a leg fracture from getting knocked out of her seat from a wakeboard.
yeah.
And it's there, and it's just, I hate doing it, but I mean,
So your
they need
goal is
bigger
really
lakes.
to ban it?
I'm sorry, huh?
Your goal is really to ban it?
No.
We're going to investigate it. Let's put it that way. We're going to have the folks, the town's going to be involved in it too. We'll have a meeting here with it, but we have to do what's right for the lakes, not just for us or personal opinion, but look at the condition report when it comes out and take one of these too. I mean, you see what the issues are. So
Before the board passes an ordinance on wake boats, after you get some more training, I'm pushing for a special town meeting for the all town residents in a big hall where we can get 100, 200 people in there and have a presentation.
Yeah.
Both pro and con, and everybody will be able to talk at that meeting.
Weren't you going to have a survey done too for Tri-Lakes?
We're gonna go with the one from 2 years ago.
yeah.
Well, we are going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to them about that and they said the survey is fairly consistent with what they've had in the past.
If I remember, we brought that up.
Yep.
And you were considering a second survey.
Yeah, that last survey was horrible. But, I mean, is the survey really gonna make a difference? I mean, because when you have these on Thursday night, half these people don't live up here. I live up here. We have a big group of these people that love surfing, so we have a group. And they say, well, geez, have it on a Saturday, have a big meeting where everybody can talk about this stuff.
Probably will.
We
I mean,
have-
we're-
And
there
they're
won't be
wanting to get together, they're wanting to get money together and hire a lawyer and fight you guys, and, I mean, they're wanting to do all this
Read the
stuff.
state statute too, and the towns we have the authority to do things on the lakes. you
Well,
know?
some of them say that they've reversed them.
No,
in
none
some
have been
ways.
reversed. There's one lawsuit out there right now. It's kind of comical. They will lose, but none has been reversed, not a one.
If we have the town meeting, it'll be on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
Not
Saturday,
during the week.
So is it safe to say that, because I've got this question asked to me all the time, there's going to be no ordinance this summer?
Not this year.
Okay.
no. It's-
I just want
we don't wanna-
the public to hear that, because they've been asking, so.
No, it's just like the town administrator job, it's gonna take time to get this ordinance, if we go with an ordinance.
Mark,
What?
can I just suggest?
Yep. You know the rules.
Donna Hazel, 241 Penhurst Way. I was just going to ask, I kind of agree, I do agree with having a town meeting in the big room where people can ask questions. But I guess I would ask, the presentation that we saw yesterday was excellent.
He's got
And
another presentation that's gonna be given at a town meeting.
Awesome.
Separate
Okay.
from the one we saw.
Can they be put on the website for people to see?
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, he did.
No, people have taken it and manipulated it.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so I just want to give you an update. We're working on it. We'll see what happens, but we do plan on having a large invite, and Saturday makes sense, so we'll be more in discussion with these folks, so. I'm sorry? Yeah, she's buying. Yeah,
She's buying, yeah.
All right.
Your wallet?
Of course. Anyway, all right. Well, passing 16 then. 17, discussion and possible action, appointment of Tim Reppin as a Plan Commission Chairman.
I make a motion to appoint Tim Reppin as Planning Commission Chairman.
Second.
Second that.
And I'll second it too.
Yay.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 18, discussion and possible action, transfer site open top options. And we've asked Cody to do a little study for us, find out how much we're spending on these open top containers. And the tippage fees, I believe you said annual costs were $280,000 for the whole process. And just for the open containers is $180,000. All the tippage fees are around $280,000, so it's a huge portion of the tippage fees. So, go ahead.
We've asked Cody to come up with suggestions of what he'd like to see out of the transfer site. I think that's what we got before us.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So I was tasked to look for some different options, do a little bit of research on surrounding communities. The communities that are similar to Rome that have transfer sites have all removed their open top containers. They do not accept construction waste. They do not accept bulk waste. Everything has been hauled to their local landfills by residents in their communities. I'd also like to state that all of the communities surrounding Rome do not have transfer sites that accept bulk items or construction waste, and they don't carry open top containers.
So let me ask you, Cody, what you're proposing on this number one is the only garbage we're going to put in is the garbage in the compactor.
Yeah,
So in other words, that's it.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll get
except for the recyclables.
I'll get to
Let them
that.
go through the options.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I want to get it clear.
so the what I was getting at was obviously with the seasons that we do have here, we have a very busy summer, very cold winter, so it's a little slower in the winter. So I took averages over the course of the year. Over the last year, keep in mind tippage fees have gone from $72 a ton to $80 a ton as well as of the first of the year. Some of the options that are possible, these are listed from the largest savings down to the least amount of savings. If you remove the open tops, customers will need to take bulk items, fee items, and construction waste to Adams County. This will be the largest possible savings, estimated roughly about 60% in savings. On $180,000, I would expect you'd expect to see possibly about $102,000 in savings. The second option, remove open tops, but have a spring-fall item drop-off in open tops. Memorial Day, Labor Day, possibly 4th of July. Other dates are open to negotiation. Fee items and household items would be allowed, sofas, mattresses, chairs, tables, etc., but no construction waste. These could be staggered throughout the year, winter, but it would not be open every weekend to have large bulk items dropped off. I would expect to see roughly a 50% savings in this as well. The other option would be to keep the open tops for bulk household items and fee items only, no construction waste. I would have to say it's probably close to 2/3 of the bulk stuff that comes in is construction waste, possibly generated from the town of Rome. The other thing is there's a lot of debris, mattresses, couches, and stuff like that that come from other communities or from residents bringing their stuff from home because it is less expensive to get rid of items in the town of Rome than it is in some of the other Chicago, Milwaukee. Fee items are much higher. So I would expect to see a cutback on some of that. It wouldn't make the travel worth it to haul all these items up here if you can't deposit them. Most residents do not do their own construction or remodeling on their homes. They are hired out. You do have contractors in the area that do live in the area, and they do use the construction, the open tops to deposit their rubbish from the homes that they are redoing. One option would be to require a dumpster when remodeling projects are being rendered or home projects are being built. That's something that could be possibly put into one of the permit fees when permits are pulled on construction.
Can you hear them on the back end? Okay. There.
So, let's see. Whatever is decided by the board, the transfer site will still accept household trash, recycling, scrap, batteries, appliances, oil, electronics, and brush and leaves. Whatever changes are made, I would also ask the board to make a decision on it not happen tomorrow. And maybe push this out a little bit, maybe till Labor Day or August 1st or whatever you would suggest on this.
I've talked a little bit with Cody about this, and I'm probably more apt to go with item number 3 with the condition that construction companies are required to provide a dumpster at the construction site. We don't accept the construction anymore. materials.
If they're gonna, the regulating of it, where that somebody's gonna sneak it in, is that,
So that's the other thing about keeping the open tops for the bulk items. Yes, stuff will be snuck in. It's fairly easy to hide and conceal, and we have that problem already with hiding electronics into the brush piles that we have when we offer electronics deposit for free.
silly?
So if I was replacing a walkway, a wood walkway at my house, I wouldn't be able to drop it off there.
It would be considered construction waste.
So then
but
I'd have to get a dumpster.
Not necessarily a dumpster, but you do have the option to haul to
Or haul
Adams
it to
County.
because I just did that.
Right.
And, you know, under the standing, I could just take it out to the Rome site here and dump it, which I could now. I mean, we're
Correct.
not going to do this immediately, so.
Correct.
But,
I mean, this is, all the communities that are around us and communities like ours have all gotten rid of this because of the rising cost of depositing or getting rid of your large bulk items and construction waste. They take up a lot of space, they take up a lot of weight. So
Do we charge for electronics?
we do not, it's free.
You guys picked up for free, too.
Yep.
The number two option, having 2-3 times a year, is that manageable? Do you think it would be crazy? I mean,
Well, it's crazy every weekend right now.
yeah.
So we come in on Saturday night and push everything down, push the containers down, try to get more space in the containers. And we have, large piles of mattresses and furniture and stuff along the side because we can't get them into there. And we go and we have to empty a container to go and reload the stuff and then send that down as well. If we had to do it, on selected days,
Mhm.
it's totally manageable, and it would be a large savings as well. Doing it every weekend is difficult sometimes.
Anybody in the audience got any thoughts? Yes, sir.
Rick Serwinski, 373 Abington Court. Couple of things. When I go there, because I retired now, I'm up here full-time. So when I go to the transfer site, I see a lot of construction, whether they're trailers or pickup trucks or dump trucks, taking a lot of stuff. So that number 3 thing would be good, eliminating that. Also, I do like the fact that you do the other part too and have 3 or 4 times a year for like residents to bring stuff like stairs or whatever, something like that. But another thing, when you said that people sneak stuff in and whatever, in the beginning of this year, there was somebody manning that shed, and they were checking what happened. Where's that person?
As of last weekend.
Oh, no.
He's back there.
Oh, he's back there. Okay, because in the last couple months, there's nobody there.
Right.
So I'm just wondering.
Yep.
Yeah, because at least that would kind of have a person the ability to look at the vehicle and maybe see like, okay, where are you from? Who are you? And that type of thing. And then maybe be able to see if somebody's sneaking something in. But there was nobody there for like 2
I
months.
talked briefly with the guy in the shack last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend, very nice guy, and I complimented Cody. It's great to have him back there.
Okay.
Sir, could I please get your last name again?
Serwinski.
Please spell it.
CZERWINSKI.
Thank you.
Cody, yeah.
I do have one more thing on that. Yes, it is the staff's job to police it and make sure that stuff coming in is accounted for on where it's supposed to go. I will also say that no matter how many signs we put out there, directions are not followed. So, as long as we're talking about this, the glass bin that's out there is for glass only. It is not for plastic, not for cardboard. We do not pay tippage on glass. When it is mixed and thrown out, Adams County will reject it, and we pay tippage. Glass that is smashed and packed in is extremely heavy and very expensive. So, we cannot recycle it That's the reason glass is kept separate. So I would love everybody in the community to do their part and put glass in the glass container.
Did you ever hear that?
Yes.
Cody, do all the three guys out there, or three workers, do they have radios so they can talk to each other?
They do have radios.
Okay.
Have you looked at purchasing a camera, a high-resolution camera for the bin to catch
Yes.
license plates on the way in?
Yes.
Good. And thinking about the options here, I like 3 also. It's the least amount of savings, but I think the construction, that's got to be a killer. And then if you can just say no construction, period, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, this thing's for the people here. It's a gathering point at some places, but it's for the residents here. It's for them to handle all their refuse one way or the other. So,
Well, Cody told me last month we spent $20,000.
$20,000 was tippage last month.
Well, yeah, I've been watching that. Yeah.
So I guess with the addition of a dumpster for construction companies, I'd go with number 3,
Maybe starting November 1st,
August 1st.
August 1st, you want to?
With $20,000 a month, Cheryl.
Yeah, that's
it's-
true, that's true.
I'd go with number 2.
With what?
Number 2. I think number 2 would be, first of all, the savings a little bit better. He's getting them 3 days to sit back and do their bulk. Okay?
It could be actually the whole weekend, not just
Yeah,
days themselves.
I
But
think number 2 would be, that's my opinion. Number
You
2.
think people are going to hold on to their stuff? They want to
Well,
get
yeah,
rid of
that's
it.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I got stuff. It's gone.
If they don't want to, they can take it someplace else.
I mean, I understand that, but I also understand they put on there, it's easy to hide something when you got bulk. So you're coming in with something, you're hiding stuff.
Well, you can hide it in, but there's the other 2 guys now are out in the area though. So catch them.
in a perfect world, yes.
It's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen one way or the other. So.
Yes.
But
All right, well,
Maybe as a
that's
starting
my
point.
opinion. If you're asking,
I'm thinking 3, and then if it you can go to 2 if you want it down the road. But
Maybe as a starting point, 3 is at least.
Whatever,
Or
it's
wh-
going to be a learning process.
Yeah. How about number 2 with, 1 weekend a month?
with the bulk items, Cody?
That is up to you guys.
Probably
I mean,
still a lot.
okay, I mean, I could go along with that. I'm just looking at the fact you're saving more money here.
Yeah. And you're still saving money with 1 weekend a month.
either way, no construction. That's the big one. That's the killer, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a vote on this?
What, we need a
We need a motion, but
I'll make
any
a
other
motion
discussion once we go into discussion, it stops. Anybody other comments?
Anybody any comments
got
you
a
want to make?
comment?
Oh, Taylor, come on up here.
You get the calls.
Yes, yes.
And all the old hanging tags. I just want to say, piggybacking on somebody being in the shack all the time now, the new gentleman that was hired, he was amazing this weekend. He even wished my dad happy Father's Day. So they are out there, they are checking, they're sending them here, getting the stickers to ensure that people are living here and using the site. But the new gentleman was amazing, and I wanted to publicly thank him for telling
Yep.
my dad happy Father's Day.
Yay.
Thank you, Taylor.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a motion, we vote on number 2, and with Tim's caveat, we'll do it once a month with the bulk items.
Let's leave the date up to Cody,
Okay.
if you would.
Yeah, whenever you
please.
want to
Yeah,
implement it.
yeah.
I think really,
August 1st would be great, but
how about after, I would think Labor
Labor
Day.
Day.
I think after Labor.
I think right after Labor Day.
Is once a month going to be too much yet?
It's going to be a lot regardless, but it's going to be a lot less.
Okay.
So it's all very doable.
how do you get that out?
Even the
to-
way we're doing it right now is still obtainable. But if we're looking at a cost savings, then yes, something should be done either way.
How do you get that out to the folks that it's once a month?
In a second.
Yeah, well, yeah, I need a second.
I'll second.
Discussion, okay. So, ooh, just like the rules.
There be a calendar?
It's on track.
Can there be
Yeah,
can there be a calendar?
You-
Living in, when I used to live in Rapids, I used to get a letter in the mail saying, this are the dates that we'll have this open. My dad still lives in Grand Rapids. He gets a letter saying, these are the dates that you'll be able to bring this to the transfer site.
Could set them
Okay.
set them
All right.
for the whole
See,
year, yep.
Then that would be a good way for people to know then.
Put it certain.
As long as they're informed of the dates of when it's gonna be available, so that way there's no confusion. They might, hopefully they will read the letter.
So,
Okay.
we're going with number 2?
Well, hold on.
Oh,
We got
okay.
a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
So are we eliminating construction material? with
Yes.
Number 2?
Yeah, that's right.
No construction.
Construction
No
waste.
construction.
With the idea that it's once a month done.
No, no, no,
Not
no.
for construction.
No, not
No,
construction.
not construction.
That's for bulk
right,
items.
right.
like
Bulk items.
that's,
For household items only, right.
Yeah, just the bulk
Yep,
items.
Yep, right.
Did it work?
After Labor Day.
Okay. Any other discussion?
August 1st.
After Labor Day.
Okay.
You're still-
Confusing people out there.
That's fine.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Go, guys.
Yeah, I know.
August
Let's make
1st.
it quick here.
I couldn't get a date out of you for the administrator.
All right, 19, discussion and possible action, approval of temporary Class B beer license for the summer solstice concert with Chris Crozy on June 20th, 2025, from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. at the Band Shell in the Rome Town Center, hosted by the American Legion Red Cloud Post 250, and Edward Jones as a benefit for the Adams County Humane Society.
I'll move for approval of the temporary Class B beer license for the summer solstice concert with Chris.
Chris
Okay,
Rosen.
discussion, and Wendy has a comment.
I just want to remind everybody that these concerts that are serving alcohol are the same as if you go to a bar. Carry-ins are not allowed. Carry-ins of alcohol are not allowed. You can't take your cooler with you to the concert. With alcohol in it. So I just want to remind everybody of that, so that,
This is at the band show.
yes,
If they're serving alcohol.
they're serving alcohol, you cannot bring alcohol in.
Yeah. If they're not serving alcohol, then it's okay.
Okay, pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 20, discussion of possible action, approval of a temporary Class B beer and wine license for the Final Visit Rome, Wisconsin LLC summer concert on September 12th, 2025, from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. at the Band Shell in the Rome Town Center.
Move to approve the temporary Class B beer and wine license for Visit Rome's final concert.
I second that.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 21, discussion and possible action, approval of Class A combination retail liquor licenses for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Quick Trip Incorporated DBA Quick Trip Store Number 1218, 251 State Highway 13 South, Nakusa, Wisconsin. Dolgan Corp. LLC DBA Dollar General Store Number 16744, 229 State Highway 13 South, Nakusa, Wisconsin.
I'll make that motion to approve of the Class A retail liquor license for the Quick Trip Store Number 1218.
I'll second that.
And the Dollar General.
Oh, and the Dollar General, my bad.
Oh,
Don't want to forget them.
Amend the second.
Second, and I'll second that, yeah.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Number 22, discussion and possible action, approval of Class B beer license for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Papa Bear's Mini Golf LLC, 266 Matterhorn Trail, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Wisconsin Trap Shooting Association Incorporated, 1312 Akron Drive, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Can I get a motion, please?
Move to approve.
And I'll second it.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 23, discussion of possible action, approval of renewal for Class B combination liquor licenses for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Sand Valley LLC, 597 Leopold Way, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Barnum Bay Enterprises LLC, DBA Lure Bar and Grill, 1735 Archer Lane, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Avocados 2 LLC, 386 State Highway 13 South, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Lake Arrowhead Association Incorporated, DBA Lake Arrowhead and Greenside Grill, 1195 Apache Lane, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. East Briar Incorporated, DBA The Lakes Course, Lakes Lounge, 1472 Apache Avenue, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. KMC Tux LLC, DBA Cal's Corner, 382 State Highway 13 South, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Lake Camelot Lodge LLC, DBA The Lodge on Lake Camelot, 298 Leisure Lane, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Lake Sherwood Property Owners Association, DBA Lake Sherwood Lodge, 1146 West Queensway, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Hoozles Lakeside Bar LLC, DBA Hoozles at the Lakes, 1497 Alpine Drive, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Romanos LLC, 108 County Highway Z, Nakusa, Wisconsin, 54457. Can I get a motion, please?
You need a break?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Number 24, the board may go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 sub 1 sub C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Zoning administration interviews.
Can we take a 10-minute break or 5-minute break?
5 minutes? 5 minutes?
Can we have a motion first?
Can we move to go into closed session?
We need a motion.
We need a motion.
Motion to go into closed session?
Second. Sorry, Cheryl.
All those in favor, please, roll call from my left.
You're the left. Oh, I'm left now. Yeah, Giardino, yes.
Evenson, yes.
Hasdall, yes.
Yes.
Reppin, yes.
And we'll take 5 minutes. Okay. You can. Oh, yeah. Right, not yet. The board reserves the right to enter into open session authorized by Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 sub 2 to possibly take action from the closed session and continue with the agenda. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to go into open session.
I'll second that.
Can I get a roll call vote from my left?
Evenson here. Yes.
Giardino, yes.
Haslo, yes.
Samuelstead, yes.
Reppin',
Long
yes.
day.
Overtime.
All right, we're back in open session. Can I get next agenda items? I'm going to put solar farm update on there.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that?
Yes.
Town administrator,
Town administrator. Okay.
zoning administrator.
Zoning, yeah.
Anything else?
Not yet.
We will.
Okay.
Anything else? You can always send it on, so, okay. 27, next meeting, date and time?
July 3rd, 5 PM.
We'll make this one short. Okay. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.